Hello everyone, my name is Heienius Alde Koli, and my partners are
Hanifa Zsalzsabila Putri
and Sara Nadira.
We are accountant student at Perbanas Institute, and in this video we are going to present about banking products. Bank. What is bank? The bank is a business entity that collects funds from the community in the form of savings and channel it to the community again in order to improve the standard of living of the people. In Indonesia, it was controlled by Undang-Undang Number 7 year 1992 about perbankan, which has been amended to Undang-Undang Number 10 1998. The function of bank is to collect deposits from the public and lend those deposits for the development of agriculture, industry, trade, and commerce. Basically, bank has two products. The first is fund product and the second is service product. Fund product consists of saving account, checking or current account, time deposit, certificate of deposit, and credit or loan. And service product consists of deposit transaction, withdrawals, clearing, transfer, overbooking, and traveler checks. And the next slide, it will be presented by my partners, Hanifa, Zsalzsabila.
banking product consists of saving account, current account, credit or loan, time deposit, certificate of deposit, withdrawals, transfer, overbooking, and clearing. First, I will tell you about the saving account. Saving account is a deposit which the withdrawal may only be made under certain conditions agreed upon, but cannot be withdrawn by check or billet giro and or other instrument equated with it. I will explain about how to opening saving account and how to deposit the money to the saving account. How to opening the saving account? The first, customer will meet the customer service and they will be given some form, such as form of an integrated account opening application, signature identification card, and reference letter to fill out by the customer. After all opening form are filled, then the form is submitted by the customer service to be inputted into the bank application. The next, customer service will ask for approval to open account data to the supervisor for approval. And customer service will then input the saving account, and the last customer service will ask for approval to open a saving account from the supervisor or bank manager. How to deposit the money to the saving account? First, customers are required to fill out the deposit slip form for the saving account provided by the bank, and then submitting it to the teller. After receiving the deposit slip, the teller will make some transaction procedure on the bank application, and then the teller will print the validated proof of deposit. The next one is current account. Checking or current account is a fund deposit from the third party, both in rupiah and foreign currency, which its withdrawal can be made at any time by check or billet giro or other means of payment order, in accordance with the term and conditions stipulated by the bank. There are some current account payment like billet giro, check, debt note, and etc. And I will tell you how to opening current account and how to deposit the money to the current account. How to opening the current account? Customer will meet the customer service and they will be given some forms such as form an integrated account opening application, signature identification card, and reference letter to fill out by them. After all opening form are filled, then the form is submitted by the customer service to be inputted into bank application. And the next, the customer service will ask for approval to open an account data to the supervisor for approval. Customer service will then input the current account, and the last customer service will ask for approval to open a current account from the supervisor. How to deposit the money to the current account? First, customer is required to fill out the proof of deposit form to the demand deposit account. And then customer receiving the teller receiving the deposit slip, and then input the transaction and some transaction procedure on the bank application. And the last, the teller will print the validated proof of deposit. And there are additional procedure if the customer do the initial deposit. After the customer make an initial deposit at the teller, then the customer check the check and billet giro book to customer service by bringing proof of deposit. The next customer service form the checkbook and billet giro registration, and also personalized checkbook and billet giro.
Credit or loans. In general, the definition of credit or loan is to offer the use of money or goods to another person at a certain time with guarantee or without guarantee, by offering services or interest or without interest. Procedure of bank credit application. The first step, apply for credit. The debtor fill in the credit application form and completes the data. The second step, interview. Interviews are conducted to find out the description or explanation of the prospective debtor. The third step, survey. Survey includes checking data, seeing the physical condition of collateral and information about the surrounding environment. The fourth step, analysis of credit. Analysis of credit has 5C. The first, character, the second, capital, the third, capacity, the fourth, condition, and the fifth, collateral. The fifth step is decision. Decision consider available funds beside on analysis and guarantee data. And the last step is disbursement of funds. The debtor have to sign a credit agreement to disburse funds.
Deposit account. Deposit account is a saving form of third parties to banks whose the withdrawal may only be made at a specified time based on agreement between the depositor and the bank under the terms and conditions. There are two types of deposit account. The first is time deposit and the second is certificate of deposit. Time deposit is a periodic saving in rupiah and or foreign currencies at a varied and competitive interest rate depending on your investment needs. And the second is certificate of deposit. A certificate of deposit is a product offered by banks and credit unions that provides an interest rate premium in exchange for the customer agreeing to leave a lump sum deposit untouched for a predetermined period of time. Time deposit, it can use rupiah, and the second, it can use current exchange. And in the other hand, it can be done by overbooking from saving account and overbooking from current account. Rupiah time deposit and foreign exchange time deposit. The first customer comes to customer service to open a time deposit, then fill out the deposit slip. After the time deposit opening process is carried out at customer service and it has been approved by the supervisor, CS asks for approval by bringing the deposit slip to the supervisor, and then being approved, make a deposit to the teller officer. After the teller receives the deposit slips, then the teller enters the transaction, and then teller will validate and print validation on deposit slip. After the teller transaction is complete, the supervisor will then print the deposit billet. Overbooking from saving and current account. The first customer comes to customer service to open time deposit whose source of funds come from the saving or current account. After customer service receives the deposit slip, CS do customer data input in the bank application and then do the deposit placement transaction with the source of fund from the saving account or current account in the teller section. And then the customer fill out the proof of withdrawal of savings and billet giro and complete the deposit slip, then submits to the two slip to the bank teller officer. After receiving the form, the teller will input the transaction on the bank application and then request an approval from supervisor or bank manager. After approving the transaction, validate it and print the validation, and then print the transaction form into form. And the last is print the deposit billet. Certificate of deposit. It can purchase by cash and it can be done by overbooking from saving account and overbooking from current account. Purchase with cash. The first customer are required to fill out the deposit slip form to purchase a certificate of deposit. After receiving the deposit slip, teller will input the transaction on the bank application and then print validation on the deposit slip. And the last, the teller will create a certificate of deposit. Purchase with overbooking from saving and current account. It has the same process like overbooking from saving and current account.
Withdrawal. Cash withdrawal means a disbursement of fund in any currency from any account out of the balance in customer favor. Cash withdrawal can be done by bank via teller. There are saving account withdrawal and current account withdrawals. For the saving account withdrawal, the first step is customer will meet the teller and they are required to fill out the saving withdrawal slip. After receiving the saving withdrawal slip, the teller enter the transaction on the bank application. And the next, the teller are required to ask for approval to the supervisor by bringing a saving withdrawal slip. After the transaction has been approved by supervisor, and the supervisor do the validation on the proof of saving withdrawal form and will print it. And then the teller will calculate the money according to the amount of the withdrawal. And the last, the teller will hand over the money and the transaction receipt to the customer. For the current account, the first step is customer will meet the teller and they are required to fill out the check. After that, the check is submitted to the teller for processing, and the next, the teller will enter the check, and then the teller will request approval from the supervisor by bringing the check and the transaction number. After the transaction has been approved by supervisor, the teller will do the validation and print it. The teller will calculate the money according to the amount of the withdrawal, and the teller will hand over the money and the transaction receipt to the customer.
Money transfer is a type bank service to transfer certain amount of funds as per the request of the trustee intended for the benefit of someone who is addressed as the recipient of the transfer. Next slide. The types of money transfer transaction activities by regions are as follows. Incoming transfer. money transfer transaction from outside the territory of Indonesia to the territory of Indonesia. Outgoing transfer, money transfer transaction from within Indonesia to outside of Indonesia. Domestic transfer, domestic money transfer transaction are within the territory of Indonesia. Money transfer mechanism. Rizky will transfer 100 million from his account at BNI to Daniel account at BCA. Here are two customers, Rizky as a sender and Daniel is as receiver. BNI as a sending agent and BCA is a receiving agent. Bank Indonesia as a money transfer operator. Number 1, Rizky instruct BNI to send 100 million rupiah to Daniel account at BCA. Number 2, BNI instruct Bank Indonesia to send 100 million rupiah to BCA account. Number 3, Bank Indonesia informed BCA there is a request from remittance for Rizky at BNI to Daniel at BCA. Number 4, BCA confirmed to BI about the remittance request from BNI to BCA. Number 6, Bank Indonesia debits 100 million rupiah of Bank BNI accounts and credit 100 million rupiah of BCA account. 7, Daniel account at BCA received 100 million rupiah.
Overbooking transaction. Overbooking transaction is a transaction conducted by the account holder or his or her proxy of one of his or her account to another account in the same bank. The overbooking transaction is basically processed under two transactions. The first is deposit and the second is withdrawal. It's already explained by my friend before, and we are going to move to overbooking practicum. The first is overbooking from saving account to friend's checking account. It almost has the same process or procedures like what I already explained in deposit, the process for doing deposit. The first is for using withdrawal form and deposit form and withdraw from my checking account, and then it needs approval and validation from supervisor or bank manager, and then deposit to friends saving account in deposit form and validation. And the second is overbooking from my checking account to my saving account. It use billet giro and then withdraw from my checking account, and it needs approval and validation from supervisor or bank manager, and then deposit to my saving account in deposit form and validation. And the last one is overbooking from friend's saving account to my checking account. It uses withdrawal form and deposit form, and then withdraw from friend's saving account, and it needs approval and validation from supervisor or bank manager, and then deposit to my saving account in deposit form and validation.
Clearing is a way of settlement of debts interbank clearing member in the form of bank letter, such as checks, slip, debit notes, credit notes, or securities at a certain place. Clearing process. Clearing deposit. Bank through teller receive other banks clearing letter deposit by the customer, which will be processed by the back office to be submitted to Bank Indonesia. Clearing withdrawals is the bank through the back office receive clearing letters from Bank Indonesia for the client's clearing withdrawal transaction. Rejection of clearing is the bank through the back office receives rejection if any agents the deposit or withdrawals of clearing letter from Bank Indonesia. The process of clearing deposit at teller. The first step is customer to teller fill out the deposit application clearing, all proof from deposit and submit the documents will be clearing. The second, the teller accepts the script and proof of the deposit and input to the system. The third, proof of deposit along with documents are forwarded by teller to process at back office to be input into account deposit administration clearing. The process of clearing deposit at back office. The first step, back office accept proof of deposit receipt clearing from teller, confirm the amount paper, and proof of payment are appropriate. Second, input to the system and convert the number from the computer according to the number script. The third, book the total return clearing deposit by using proof of transaction and input into the system. Four, create card clearing batches for return clearing deposit transaction today and hand it over to Bank Indonesia through a clearing mechanism submission. 5, perform account debits the customer for the clearing deposit fee. 6, if clearing is successful, the next day book by the back office will fill in proof of transaction. The work process for clearing withdrawals is carried out by the back office as follows. The first, receive document and report from Bank Indonesia. The second, calculate the number of copies and the total nominal value of the notes accept and match the amount on the report of Bank Indonesia. The third, check documents such as check, effective date, document validity, and signed hand. 4, input the computer to debit customer account. 5, book total return clearing withdrawals using proof of transaction. Next, rejection of interclearing is rejection of our clearing deposit or credit notes that have been rejected by other banks. Rejection of out-clearing is rejection of the bank's own documents that are billed by other banks through clearing. If there is a rejection of clearing, the back office has to do the first, input the rejection journal. The second, make proof of transaction for debiting the rejection fee. And the last, for rejection of clearing withdrawals, make a rejection letter and the reason thereof.
That's all our presentation, and thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe.